black, brown, trans, queer, Muslim students at risk.
My first thought was like, this is extreme, this is ridiculous. And then there was the, well, you're privileged, you're white.
So it definitely seems like they are being brainwashed. I don't know how else to define it.
Over the past 10 years, many colleges went mad. They charge students big bucks and then make them feel guilty. This is what happened to Lucy Cross Williams at Stanford.
I was anxious, I felt guilty constantly. I couldn't stop thinking about the whole white privilege thing.
Kim Katiti attended the Art Institutes of California.
I feel like I lost my life for like 6 years.
This new documentary, The Coddling of the American Mind, argues that today more young people are anxious and depressed because adults at their schools brainwash them.
I was full of self-confidence when I was 18, but
So this video is about why students in today's time are miserable. My name is Elifar Jojo. I am an electronics engineering grad student. I already graduated with an engineering degree, and I'm getting another one, graduating in a few months. So what's happening with American students? Why are we miserable? Let's see.
I was in college. That disintegrated.
Kimmy was taught she was a victim.
I was introduced to ideas such as microaggressions.
Have you heard or even said any of these common microaggressions? Wow, you're so articulate. Can I touch your hair?
I began to see myself through the lens of Black and a woman. If I see someone like coming up with their dog, for example, and the dog's barking at me, I could interpret that as a racist microaggression on the part of both the dog and the dog walker. And I was like, the world's a lot darker than I thought it was. In order to kind of compete and get the best grades, I sort of showed how much of a victim I was in order to impress my professors.
She thought that was wrong, but she didn't push back.
I thought, I'm paying a lot, so they're definitely teaching me like the golden rules for life.
Those rules included censoring speech by conservatives like Ben Shapiro. Kimmy joined the mob trying to get Shapiro's posts blocked on Twitter. She kept sending complaints to Twitter censors.
I would sit down all the way through the night. I'll try again, I'll try again.
At Stanford, Lucy was taught that Shapiro's ideas put black, brown, trans, queer, Muslim students at risk.
My first thought was like, this is extreme, this is ridiculous. And then there was the, well, you're privileged, you're white.
She was taught that a good...
So it definitely seems like they are being brainwashed. I don't know how else to define it. This is brainwashing. If a dog barks at you and you automatically think the dog is racist, that is brainwashing. A racist dog? You're sitting at home spam reporting a Twitter page. Here's the thing. And I don't know if people understand it. And I've watched a lot of videos about conservatives. The main thing with conservatives, such as Ben Shapiro, is that he doesn't think about race. He wants people to be fair. And because he believes people are fair, people automatically think he's racist because he believes white and black people are on the same playing field. He believes everyone's on the same playing field, which is ironic because during the civil rights era, when you had Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, what did they preach? That we're fair, that we're equal, that we have equal opportunity and we deserve to have the same rights as others, that we have the same playing field as white Americans. That's what they fought for. And now it's so crazy that you have conservatives who are being attacked for this, saying the same thing. They're being attacked for this. They're being attacked because Ben Shapiro refuses to call black people victims. He refuses to say that you're a victim. He refuses to say that you are a victim and that you are underserved in society, which is something I thought people wanted. That's what Martin Luther King used to say. We're not victims. But I don't know, man. Life is kind of weird.
I didn't read too many books by white authors or listen to the wrong kind of music. I was really torn on rap because I didn't know if that was appropriation or appreciation.
To be accepted, she changed the way she spoke.
When I started to use the vocabulary of like marginalized, intersectional, hegemonic, blah, 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 people just kind of smiled a little bit more. And I started feeling like I was part of an in-group.
But a few years later, she concluded,
these set of thought processes was really unhealthy and was making me miserable.
Administrators teach students that they're fragile and in constant danger and can be permanently harmed by words. This is not a kind or compassionate thing to teach people.
Greg Lukianoff co-wrote The Coddling of the American Mind. Years ago, he suffered from suicidal depression. Therapy helped him, but now...
I'm looking on campus and I'm like, wow, it's kind of like administrators are telling students to catastrophize, to do all these things that I was taught not to do.
This is amplified by required courses that divide students into oppressed or oppressor.
Colleges provide websites and phone numbers so students can report people who offend them.
And lots of people offend them.
In 2012, there was none of this.
Coddling co-author Jonathan Haidt.
And by 2014, 2015, there was a lot of it.
What about our protection right now?
At this college, they
Basically took the president of the university hostage. They wouldn't even let him go to the bathroom. It wasn't about learning. It wasn't about exposure to ideas. It was about this battle between good and evil.
This new censorship was supposed to help minorities, but they too were often punished. Saeed Malami spoke at a protest.
I go up there, feeling all cool with myself. It was like, blackness is not a skin color, it's an attitude to life. If you're white, you can be black. If you're black, you can be purple, whatever it is. I'm like, everyone can be black. And what happened after that, a lot of people I thought I was tight with just stopped talking to me.
So instead of saying, I'm no victim, he shut up.
What I thought to be true, I would keep in my head and then say something else.
Doing that makes other students dumber.
Other people challenging us make us smart. Cancel culture is like a way of shooting yourself in the brain.
For Kimmy, a turning point was when she went to a skate park in a conservative neighborhood.
Are they going to hate that a black woman's in their territory? Will they literally pick up a skateboard and attack me?
The park was in Orange County, California.
I was afraid of Orange County to begin with, just because it was notoriously conservative. So just going into Orange County was kind of scary for me.
But at the park, Kimmy found the county was not evil as she'd feared.
This was a really great place. That was when I knew there was a way that I was looking at the world that wasn't right. I was the one inflicting pain on myself, and it was robbing me of happiness.
It's really important to have great sympathy for younger people today because they're just doing what older people are telling them. Like this idea that they're always in constant danger, that words will permanently harm them, and that they're much more fragile than they actually are.
When I was a social justice advocate, I was tired, miserable, pessimistic.
Now that I'm out of that and I'm thinking for myself, I'm much happier.
I wasn't really sure what the alternative was until a friend sent.
One thing I want to say is, when I was in high school, I went to a science and technology high school. And at this high school, in order for you to graduate, you have to complete a really big project, or it's called like a research practicum project, or you have to have dual enrollment credits, meaning that you have to be enrolled at a college or while you're in high school. Pretty good high school. So in order to do the research practicum project, you have to have a mentor that can lead you with this project. And mind you, this is a STEM high school. So of course the projects are in some area of STEM, either biology, engineering. So I am an engineer right now, but this is like 5 or 6 years ago. This is a long time ago. And I was like, okay, who are they going to assign me as my mentor? And they only assign like the top students or whatever. And I had a 4.0 GPA. I wasn't a slacker by any means, but I wasn't the top student at that school. So I went to the office, and it was a black woman. And I said, so who did I get assigned to lead my project? And she said, oh, we couldn't assign anyone to you. We ran out of spots. You got to find your own mentor. Mind you, I'm 18. I don't know anything about finding a mentor. I know nothing. So I'm like, dang, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I just started emailing college professors, asking them to help me out, asking them to be there for me. And none of them responded except for a few people. The first person who responded, and I emailed hundreds of professors, black professors at the HBCUs near me, people I thought would really help me. But the only two people who responded was an Indian man and a white man. And they reached out to me and they let me visit it was a really nice college. They let me visit the college. They said I could work in their labs. An Indian man and a white man. None of the black professors I reached out to even responded to me at all. At all, they didn't respond to me. They did not respond. And I was like, wow. So my very first, the people who introduced me to engineering, and I'm a full engineer now. This was 6 years ago. The ones who took a risk on me were an Indian and a white man. I ended up working in this white man's lab. This was 6 years ago. They didn't know me at all. They did not know me. They took a risk on me because I put myself out there. A white, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because, not to shame anyone's skin color at all. It's because when you judge someone based off of their skin color, you limit your own life and you walk through life with this pain and this desperation and this delusion. But when I was at one of my lowest points and I just needed it so I can graduate, the people who looked out for me looked nothing like me. That's the truth. So don't try to judge someone based off of how they look, because even in my life, that's not the case. And that's just a random story I brought up. I could bring up a million more, but let's continue.
Me a link
To this YouTube channel where black scholars said things she'd never heard.
The whole business of black men being at a unique risk of being killed by white cops is vastly distorted.
I was astonished to find that there were black thinkers writing about race and sharing ideas that I never heard on campus. This whole new world of ideas has opened up to me, and it was so exciting to feel like I was thinking for myself again.
Coddling is a good introduction to how some of today's schools harm students.
Yeah, this was a really good video, and I love where he's coming from, because a lot of students are taught to hate themselves through the lens of other people. They are taught that other people have something against them, which is not the case at all. Try not to judge anyone based off their race. Majority of people, in my opinion, are pretty good people, or at least the ones that watch my channel. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.